Right, here we go with my recipe for bread. I'm actually making pizzas today, but the recipe is exactly the same. But I would recommend using half and half white flour and wholemeal flour. In this occasion I'm using strong white flour for the pizza dough. And the ingredients are the strong white flour, drizzle of olive oil and a bit of salt and fast action dried yeast in a sachet like this, which I get from Sainsbury's. So let's get moving. Call that 1 cup, 2 cups, say 3 cups of flour, and I'll put another cup on the side just in case I need a bit of spare. Actually, I'm going to put a bit more in. So I'll call it 4 cups of flour and I'll put a bit on the side. Approximately a teaspoon of salt. Yeah, teaspoon's about right. Sachet of yeast. My understanding is that you shouldn't mix the yeast and the salt if you can avoid it, because the salt will affect the action of the yeast. So I tend to put them on either side of the flour at this stage, and then put a drizzle of olive oil down the middle, like so. Now we want about half a pint of tepid water. Which we add to our mixture, a bit at a time, because we don't want it to be too wet. Using a wooden spoon, the handle of a wooden spoon I've discovered is the best way of doing it. You mix that till it starts coming together. Now at this stage you may need to add a little more water or a little more flour, depending on the consistency you get. Now this doesn't look too bad at the moment. That's the sort of consistency we want. Definitely getting that all right. Move it around in the bowl until you get all the excess off the edge of the bowl. You can see I only used I used a lot less than half a pint for that, but I'm wondering if I'm using less flour than I normally would. So I just want to make a couple of pizzas this afternoon. Maybe about 5 cups of flour would be alright for a loaf of bread, so halve that with half plain flour and half wholemeal flour. It's quite a nice combination. There we are, it's gathered everything from the edge of the bowl. Now we go into the kneading phase. If this sticks to the surface, you can add a bit of this flour to the surface, and then you'll find the process of kneading it a bit easier. Don't need all that. And my method of kneading is to sort of, the other thing is, before you get to this stage, take your watch off, otherwise you'll have a watch strap full of dough. Yeah, my method of kneading is to stretch it out, fold it back on itself and then squeeze, and you just keep doing that, folding and squeezing and stretching, folding and pressing, and you keep doing that for a while, for about 10 minutes really. So I'll switch off for a while. Right, it's now a few minutes later and I've been kneading this till you get it into that nice, smooth, bouncy consistency. And then pop it back in the bowl. First of all, I give it a little drizzle of olive oil at the bottom of the bowl, just so that it doesn't stick. Roll it into a nice ball, pop it into the bowl like this and cover it. Cover it with a tea towel, with Poldark on preferably, and then set that aside for an hour probably or two until it's about doubled in size.